Hey there, this is Mark at alchemist.camp, and today I'm going to talk about VI. As any regular viewer of this channel knows, my focus is to learn Elixir and Phoenix by building things, but you can't just use a back-end programming language. Like, you've also got to probably interact with JavaScript at some point, and HTML, CSS, and you probably have to learn Git, and there's a whole list of things where it makes sense to learn one from each category. The code editor is kind of unusual though. Code editor, there's a case to be made that if your first editor is not VI or Emacs, you should also learn VI or Emacs in addition to your first editor. And I have chosen VI. The reason is it's available everywhere. Like any Unix machine I go to, I can SSH to my server, and that is alchemist.camp. And in this server, if I want to edit a file, VI is there for me. I'm just going to make a new text file, vi hi.text. And here it is for me. There isn't really much to edit, so I'll just quit and get out. And I'll go back to my own system. And if you're on Mac, anytime you go to the terminal, type VI, it's there. If you're on Windows, there's now a Bash subsystem. So you start up Bash, which is what I'm in now, and VI is there. Even inside of other editors like Sublime Text 2 or Visual Studio Code, whatever you like to use, VI is almost always available as a plugin, and you can use VI there as well. So VI is available just about everywhere. It's the default editor on a lot of Unix machines, and I believe with new Macs, it still has it as a default. So if you make a git commit, you will by default be thrown into a VI editing session. Unlike Nano, which is the other popular default editor, it's highly productive when you get good at it. I think Nano is actually just a horrible editor. It's still kind of confusing for new users, and there's not much to be gained when you get good at it. VI doesn't require the mouse at all, so if you have a cramped space, or if you, like me, if you have some repetitive stress injuries in your wrists, it's really nice to just be on the keyboard. And probably most importantly, when you get really good at it, it is blindingly fast. Now, not everybody wants to invest in VI for everything. I mean, I don't. I use Visual Studio Code, but it is a big boon to just have some idea what you're doing. So when you do SSH into your server or work on an unfamiliar system, you at least have some sort of fallback that you're comfortable enough with. So let's just jump into the very basics today. So here is an Elixir program. It's actually modifying the fairly well-known earmark markdown converter and extending it. You can see I am pressing the J key to go down, and I'm pressing the K key to go up. This is definitely not normal, but it is very easy because my fingers are already right there in the home row. L moves you horizontal. Actually, let me get to another row. So L is moving me right, and then H, it moves me left. So H and L to left and right, J and K, J and K to go up and down. So it takes some adjustment, but it's very fast because your fingers are just right there. Now you may be wondering how you type a J or a K or an H or an L, because we need those keys. Well, the way you do it is there are multiple modes in VI. So this is the normal mode. Then there's another mode you'll encounter a lot, which is called insert mode. Insert mode is where you can type normally. So I'm going to go up to this end here, and I'm going to press O, which opens a new line below where you are. And now the cursor is changed and I'm in insert mode. So now I'm not navigating, I am inserting characters. I hit escape to take me back into the normal mode. I can press U to undo everything I just did in insert mode. And here I am back at the end. Then there's some faster ways of getting around as well. If I press W, it'll take me to the next word. And so you can see the way a word is determined kind of depends on special characters, but It's much faster than hitting insert. If I want to go to the end of the word instead of the beginning of the word, I would press E. It'll take you to the end of the word. The opposite is hitting B for back. It takes me back an entire word. To go to the end of a whole line, I would hit $, and to go to the beginning, I would hit caret. You can also start into insert mode, or you can go directly into insert mode at the beginning or end of a line by using Shift-I or Shift-A. So actually first, let's just look at normal I and A. I starts inserting text right here. I'll escape. And A will start inserting after wherever you are. So right now my cursor is under the K. If I press A, I'm now inserting after it. Whereas if the cursor had been right under the K and I pressed I, it would start inserting before it. So I inserts before where you are, A inserts after where you are. If you press capital I, it will start you in insert mode at the beginning of the line. So that's very useful. And capital A will start writing after the line. And I'll escape to get out of insert mode and hit U to undo all of that I don't want. I and A are inserting before and after. H, J, K, L are your ways of navigating around. And B to go back, W to go forward in whole word increments. You want to go to the end of the word from wherever you are, you hit E. You want to go to the beginning of it, you can hit B. GG goes to the top of the file. Capital G goes to the very end of the file. That's another quick way of getting around. You can also type colon, which is essentially a third kind of mode, and type in a number of the line you want to go to. So I type in colon and then 15 and hit enter. I am now at line 15 and I'm still in normal mode. If you type colon, you can also type in a lot of other commands. You can do a substitution. For example, if I want to change text, I can type s/text/ HTML, and that turns into HTML. This is basically a regular expression. There are slight differences between regular expressions in VI and in JavaScript or Ruby or anything else that was inspired by Perl regular expressions. VI regular expressions are a bit weaker because they're older. So that's a useful thing. Then you can also type / to search to a term. So if I want to go to that text, just type in text, text, or if I want to test, type in test and then hit enter and you're there. Now, the super powerful feature, well, there are a few powerful features in VI, but a huge one is almost all commands are composable. So if I type to and W, I'll go forward 2 words. If I type 5 and K, I go up 5 lines. If I type 5 and E, I'll go to the end of 5 words later. So that's pretty interesting. Then you can also hit dot to do the last thing that you did. D means delete. So if I type DW, it deletes 1 word. If I type 2DW, it deletes 2 words. That dot counted as a word here. 5DW deletes 5 words. DD deletes the whole line. 5DD deletes 5 lines. There's really no limit. I just type 10 there. Type 20DD deletes 20 lines. Y is yank or copy. Same deal. YW yanks a word. Then I press P to paste. So I have earmark, earmark. And 5YW would be yank 5 words. I can yank $, so Y $, to yank to the end of the line, and paste to copy it. And notice it's pasting after the E. If I press Shift P, it'll paste before. A very common thing to do is use YY to yank the whole line, just like DD deletes the whole thing. Then I can paste, and I can paste and paste and paste. Notice the undo buffer is multiple long, so I just pasted a whole bunch. Now I'm undoing repeatedly. Then probably the one other thing worth looking at today is change. Well, two things. We also got to learn how to exit. So C is change, just like D is delete. If I hit DW, it deletes the word earmark. If I type CW, it deletes it, but now I'm in insert mode, so I can type a different word. So I can type nose mark and hit escape. If I were to go somewhere else now and hit dot, it will repeat that action. That's pretty useful. In this case, it's not related to the word earmark though. So going to a different word, say options, I'm going to delete this word and change it to nose mark. So hit dot. Now let's undo that. Often it's a pain to do this because you want to just be able to make your change from inside the word, and notice that doesn't work. That's because change, and just like delete, it'll delete from where you are. So if I do DW here, it'll delete to the end of the word. If I were to do DB, it deletes the beginning of the word. DE would be essentially the same as DW here, deletes the end of the word. What if I wanted to delete from inside the word and I want to delete the whole word? Well, DIW, delete in word, deletes the whole word. Hit undo. Now maybe I want to change the word just like we did. So let's say I want to change earmark to some other thing. CIW, some other thing, and hit escape. Now I can go to any word I want to from inside of it, hit dot to repeat that, change in word to some other thing, and dot, and you can see it's pretty powerful. I'll undo those. So we have change, delete, yank, and we can add things like in after it, so yank in word or delete in word. We don't use in, it'll just be from where we are. Then we can use word to go to the end of the word, B to go to the beginning of the word, or dollar for the end of the line. So say I want to change to the end of the line, C, and dollar goes to the end of the line. And I'll just change that to some parens. And now I'll hit escape. Now I can hit dot and do that again on another line. Extremely powerful. And to go to the beginning of the line, it is caret. So D caret deletes everything in the beginning of the line. So these are composable. You can do them repeatedly. You can hit dot to repeat the last thing you did in insert mode. And there are fast navigation features to get to the beginning and the end of the file or to a specific line number. So that is a basic intro to VI. This is more than enough to get you by for just basic survival editing. Now, the way that you save the changes you've made to a file is :W. Then you hit enter, and it says 877 characters written. :Q gets you out. :WQ saves the file or writes the file and quits. If you've made changes, you won't be allowed to quit. So say I delete this and then I hit Q, :Q to quit. Not allowed, no write since last change. Add bang to override. So Q bang quits without saving, and we can see it was not altered. I'll probably do another VI video with more advanced topics later, like macros, which are super powerful, maybe even some visual mode features and plugins you can use for multi-file editing. But this will get you by when you need to edit things on your server, and Found this useful? Click subscribe so that you get more videos. Till next time, code on.